splendid new tram system. It will be wonderful. You just happen to arrive when they're working on this section of it, so hence the complications with parking. But you are near the brand new mall, which has opened over there on the right, St James Quarter, which has lots of trendy eateries, all trendy shops. It's quite a destination. 1,000 students here, so big college town. It's a city of literature, it's a city of book festivals, it's the capital and a great city for the arts. So we're going to tell you all about that. So we're going to go round the corner, but if you look right you'll see Starbucks. So remember him, because if you're walking along that's where you turn down to go to your hotel. So you're technically in Newtown, and this is the bridge, which is one side of it's falling down, so this side's okay, never fear. And this will get us up to Old Town, and we've had 3 bridges here. This is the 3rd one, and we're still trying to fix it, but hey ho, there you go. So Edinburgh is a tale of 2 cities. So we've got Old Town, where we're going now, and then Newtown. Now Newtown's 250 years old. It ain't that new. What you see today is 1,000 years old, and it's inside the castle. So that's coming up later in the tour. So the medieval street, the street that links our castle with our royal palace, believe it or not, it is 1 mile long. The one up the hill is the famous one, St Giles, and then this section is the second half of the mile. So this is medieval Manhattan. We had skyscrapers long before anyone else. So the buildings 10, 11, 12 floors high. When we went as high as we dared, we would build little alleys and build again at the back. So each side of the Royal Mile has these wonderful little alleys that you might want to explore. Former John Knox lived. He lived at the same time as Mary, Queen of Scots. She was Catholic and he wanted us all to be Protestants. So if you studied economics, you might have heard of the wealth of nations. So a lot of the great and good are buried originally the posh area of town. So today, ordinary folks, we even have a school here. So that tells you there are families living in the area. Starbucks, of course. That's the new invader. And education is compulsory age right, with the lovely cream coloured walls. And then the railings going up, the security in place. So everything on the left. This is the official residence for Her Majesty the Queen in Scotland. She did open the Royal Palace. She left the palace, went across, cut the ribbon, went back home and had her tea. How about that? Going to the Royal Park. So we'll go through the gates, which have the lamps with the little crowns on top. That tells us we're in the Royal Park. And then, oh, the police are here already. This building through the gates is the Queen's official home. Oh, I can see the flowers arriving. So one here is called Holyrood or Holyrood. Rood means a cross, and it all starts 800 years ago with an old abbey. If you look over your left shoulder, can you see the old abbey? That was built by David I in 1128. Use the park. Be careful of the mammals, the middle-aged men in love with spandex on their bikes in the park. They'll knock you down. Now we're going to make Alan work even harder. He's going to try and swing around on this roundabout. We're going to go back through the park. David founded the abbey, and David's mum was Saint Margaret, and the loch is named after her. So, beautiful part of the city, and we'll continue right through. But a lot of student apartments around here, and the next couple of blocks, this isn't far from the Royal Mile at all, is a great haunt at the weekends. All the thrift stores, see all the thrift stores one after the other? Past the Royal College of Surgeons, which is this big building with the columns. Yeah, some of them are going there tonight. Okay, so that's the Royal College of Surgeons. And okay, we'll be having graduations. There might actually be graduations today. So all of this, and this is my university. I graduated here with a master's in American history. There you go, very long time ago. So long ago. A big circular building. In fact, the day I graduated, my mom couldn't come. Do you know why she didn't come? She was having a baby. I have a sister, 22 years, my junior. Wow. This drip, we discovered that vitamin C deficiency caused scurvy. And through that arch there, if you're up this way, if you walk through the arch on the left hand side, are the names of all the famous doctor. Dr. Hodgkins trained here. He gave his name to Hodgkin's disease, Hodgkin's lymphoma. So a lot of great discoveries. His little dog, a little Skye Terrier, went to the grave and kept vigil for 14 years at the graveside. Lots of coloured shops, and that is Diagon Alley. And a great view of the castle ahead of us. And half a block up here in Newtown, so we have Princess, this street, not far from your hotel either, Rose Street, it runs the whole length, and Princess is famous. But George Street is street number 2. It actually has some very fine retail, and something interesting happens in George Street every day, every night of the week. We have a building on the left here, which is the headquarter of all our lighthouses. Another writer born in Newtown. We're crossing over here, but Castle Street on the left is where Kenneth Grahame was born, the man who wrote The Wind in the Willows. In fact, where you see the little pop-up bar, that's his house. But he was born right down here on Charlotte Square. So Newtown was laid out like a good old American grid city, named after Queen Charlotte, the Queen of George III. And of course you'll know Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlottesville, Virginia. They are all named after Queen Charlotte. His family entertained in grand style. You would have chosen guests, a full bloom at the moment if anyone's into flowers. And in the gardens we've got a special floral clock which is dedicated to Her Majesty the Queen, her Platinum Jubilee, which we celebrated this month. So the floral clock is down there in the gardens, and they've used 35,000 plants this year to create the floral clock. So we're very proud of our Queen. That's one of Alan's girlfriends calling. So we are a nation of gardeners, no doubt about it. Church in the corner is Episcopalian, and Johnny Walker is across the street now. So that's Johnny Walker in the corner. St. Cuthbert's, this is a Presbyterian church, the one sitting lower down. This is where Agatha Christie got married second time around, and the other claim to fame to use the watchtowers. Edinburgh's a safe city. And then we turn left. So what's going to entrance of the Edinburgh Castle. You'll have noticed it's an incline. It's actually quite difficult for the performers, especially the dancers. Stonework onto a pavement that has a connection with you. The very first Gate 1 excursion here. Then you've got 500-year-old rock, and then up at the top, 18th century, where you see the camp. You've got US task road you'll find, won't drop on you. This was all created at that time, after that Irish siege, as an extra defence into the castle. On the top of the hill on the left-hand side.
Did I miss why the small stones?
Oh, sorry, that's when I got interrupted. Sorry. Small stones for the horses. Painted green, it's what's called an L118, last used in the Falklands 40 years ago.
Naprawdę tak jest?
One soldier comes down, Shannon the cannon, follow. Shannon the cannon, fires the shot. Now, the photograph that we had a little further on, that stretch of water is called Paraffin 4. The tidal estuary is the River 4, and you're looking out to the island of Inchcolm. You can see a cruise ship just down there. There'll be another one at anchor somewhere. And that's us looking north over Newtown, where you see the two bumps of the horizon. Right above the two bumps is to have a little cheeky whiskey to keep you going, to fortify you. This is I love looking at the cameras. Remember when we used to, when you were too young, you only had 36 shots and you
sign up for the crown jewel. You cannot take any pictures inside. And inside there is where J.K. Rowling, when she launched her books, she launched it here, inside. Maybe we'll go inside and take a look. This was actually added in the 1900s, but it looks like it had been here for a few hundred years. Okay, we'll go inside where J.K. Rowling launched her Harry Potter books. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so we are going to explore this building. I was to take some pictures inside, but when I started to get my camera out and took a video, shot a few seconds clip, I was told not to use camera. Let's peek out here. They're building a stadium here. Some type of festival, really big festival going on. See, Gong Gong is trying to get a good picture. See the people down there? The castle is built on top of a hill, so you can look down and see downtown over there. Get a good look at the entrance to the hotel, to the castle from up here. This is okay.
Only the wealthiest kings go for that.
This chapel is the oldest building in Edinburgh, built in 1130.
Military forces preparing for or launching attacks on German Holyrood.
visit the palace. Okay, and then you go downhill